The road in my area has an unpleasant nickname. It's called Dead Man's Road. It got that name because there are a lot of accidents there, and they're usually fatal. The road is straight, so drivers go fast and lost their focus. There are also big trucks and buses, which make accidents even worse. When there's a crash, the cars can be completely wrecked. I work as a tow truck driver on this street, and I don't like its nickname. But because of that nickname, I make a lot of money as a driver. One day, there was a terrible accident on Dead Man's Road. A whole family of 5 had died. The police called me to move the wrecked car. The way to the impound lot, I thought about taking some parts from the car to sell. I never did this in my entire time I work as tow truck driver, but due to needs of fast money, I have to do it. When I got to the impound lot, I took some parts like batteries and tires. I kept them in my house in the holding area. That night, while trying to sleep, I heard strange sounds of metal clashing. Usually, it's just animals or the wind knocking things over, but this was different. It sounded like it was on purpose. I got up and went to see what was making the noise. But as soon as I opened the door, it stopped. It was silent. I called out, "Who's there?" but received no response. I took a flashlight and checked outside, making sure no one was playing a prank on me. I walked around and checked the fence, worried it wasn't locked properly. I was confused. Was it just my imagination? It felt too real. And there was no wind outside, so what was making that sound? I went back inside and closed the door, trying to go back to sleep. But as soon as I closed my eyes, I heard the car door opening and closing sound. I was even more confused. Could it be the wind? How strong would the wind have to be to open and close a car door? I got out of bed and listened carefully to find out where the sound was coming from. It was definitely the sound of a car door, nothing else. It was coming from where I parked my tow truck outside. I hurried to check it out. But when I opened the door, the sound stopped. I shouted, "Who's there?" This isn't funny, but received no response. It was silent again. I checked my truck, and the door was locked. I felt a shiver down my spine. What was going on? This had never happened before. I returned to the house, attempting to close my eyes for the 3rd time. Suddenly, there was a loud knock on my door. I didn't wait for anything else. I quickly went to see who was bothering me. But when I opened the door, it was quiet. There was no sound at all. I was even more scared now. I couldn't sleep until morning, afraid of another disturbance. The following day, I shared my experiences with a friend and asked an explanation for what had happened. They suggested that it might be connected to the parts you had taken from the accident car. Perhaps the owner wanted them back. Furthermore, they warned me, saying, "If you pay attention, you'll notice the sounds are getting closer and closer to your house. If you try to sleep again, who knows what might happen to you?" In that moment, I felt both fortunate and terrified. After our conversation, I decided to return the parts to their original place. And after that, the strange things stopped happening.